We need to talk. We need to have a very honest conversation about the life you're actually living versus the spiritual ideals you're chasing. I see the question haunting the minds of so many people, a quiet fear whispered in the dark after a weekend of fun. It's this: does drinking, does smoking, does having sex, does living a little completely destroy your ability to manifest a better life? You go out on a Saturday night. You have a few drinks with friends, you laugh, you feel alive. Maybe you meet someone, you connect, and you spend the night together. And then Sunday morning comes. The fun fades and it's replaced by a cold, creeping anxiety. You start scrolling through spiritual content and you're hit with this overwhelming message of purity. You see gurus telling you to detox, to raise your vibration, to stay celibate, to treat your body like a temple. And you look at your life, at the choices you just made, and you feel this drop in the pit of your stomach. A sense of guilt, a sense of failure. You think to yourself, I've messed it all up. I've lowered my vibration. All that work I did visualizing and affirming, it's all gone. I'm not spiritual enough for this. This conflict, this internal war between being a spiritual seeker and being a human being, is one of the biggest scams being sold in the spiritual industry today. It's a lie that keeps you trapped in a cycle of shame and self-sabotage. And today, we are going to dismantle it, piece by painful piece. Because the answer to whether these things destroy your manifestations is far more complex, and ultimately, far more empowering than a simple yes or no. The truth is, the power to ruin your manifestations doesn't lie in the bottle, the cigarette, or the bedroom. It lies in a much more intimate and much more controllable place, right between your own two ears. The first pillar of nonsense we need to tear down is this idea that spirituality equals sainthood. You've been programmed, often from old religious frameworks that you thought you left behind, to believe that to be connected to a higher power, you must be good. You must be pure, holy, and walk a tightrope of moral perfection. This is the biggest illusion holding people back. Let me be perfectly clear. The universe is not a judgmental God sitting on a cloud, tallying up your sins and virtues. The universe is a grand, impartial system of energy and frequency. It does not operate on a human-conceived system of morality. Think about the law of gravity. If the kindest, most generous person on Earth and the cruelest person on Earth both step off a 10-story building, does gravity pause and check their moral report card? Does it say, "Oh, this one is a saint, let me catch her"? No, they both fall. Why? Because universal laws are impersonal. They are based on principles, not personalities. The law of vibration, the very engine of manifestation, is exactly the same. It does not care if you are a good person or a bad person. It cares about one thing and one thing only: your frequency, your predominant energetic signature. That's it. Bad things happen to good people and good things happen to bad people every single day. And this fact alone should be enough to show you that the universe is not playing the game of morality. It's playing the game of energetic resonance. So when someone tells you, "Don't drink, it's low vibrational," or "sex for pleasure is a sin that blocks your abundance," what they are really doing is projecting their personal moral code onto a neutral universal law. They've built a box, and they're trying to convince you to climb inside it with them. But being spiritual isn't about being good. It's about becoming aware, aware of the energy that creates worlds, aware of the power you hold to direct that energy, and most importantly, aware of the personal laws you've unknowingly agreed to live by. This brings us to the most critical concept you will ever learn on this journey. You make your own laws. Your reality, the world you experience from the moment you wake up to the moment you fall asleep, is governed by a set of rules. But these rules were not handed down from the heavens. They were installed in your subconscious mind. And there is no greater truth in your reality than what your subconscious mind accepts as true. Let me repeat that. There is no absolute, objective truth in your experience of life. There are only ideas, wearing the mask of truth, that you have allowed to take root in the garden of your subconscious mind. Once an idea is planted there, it becomes your reality. Your subconscious is the builder, and your beliefs are the blueprint it uses to construct your life. If you have a deep, subconscious belief that says, "Life is hard because of where I came from," then your subconscious will work tirelessly to manifest circumstances that prove that belief correct. You'll miss opportunities, encounter difficult people, and face constant struggle. Then when it all happens, your conscious mind will look at the chaos and say, "See, I knew it. I was right." This moment of being right gives you a strange, poisonous hit of validation, an artificial ego boost from proving your own limitations to be true. We see it everywhere. The person who believes all men cheat will consistently attract partners who are unfaithful, confirming her painful worldview. The person who believes "I'm not smart enough for that kind of success" will subconsciously sabotage every chance they get, reinforcing their identity of inadequacy. They want to be right more than they want to be happy. Now, let's apply this devastatingly powerful principle to the topic at hand. Do drinking, smoking, and sex ruin your manifestations? The real question is, what law have you written in your own subconscious constitution about these things? If you have listened to the spiritual gurus and accepted the belief that having a glass of wine is a spiritual crime that will absolutely crush your vibration, then guess what? It will. Not because the wine has any inherent power to do so, but because you have declared it to be so. You have passed a law in your private universe that says, "When I do X, Y negative consequence must happen." Your subconscious mind, as the ever-loyal and non-judgmental servant, will hear your command and execute it perfectly. You'll feel your energy drain. You'll feel disconnected. You'll see your manifestation stall. Not because of the act itself, but because of the meaning, the rule, the law you attach to it. You became the judge, jury, and executioner of your own joy. Conversely, have you ever met someone who is a complete degenerate by all spiritual standards? Someone who parties, indulges, and seems to live a life completely devoid of ascetic discipline, yet everything they touch turns to gold. They're successful, they're happy, they're magnetic. How is this possible? It's because their subconscious rulebook is different from yours. Deep down, they haven't accepted the law that says pleasure and success are mutually exclusive. Their belief might be, life is to be enjoyed, and the more I enjoy it, the more good things flow to me. And so for them, that is the truth. That is the reality that manifests. They aren't held back by your rules because they aren't playing your game. They are playing their own. The question is, who wrote your rule book? Was it you, consciously and deliberately? Or was it inherited from your culture, your upbringing, or some influencer on the internet? Because if the laws of your reality don't serve you, then they only exist to control you. So now we arrive at the heart of the matter, the real mechanism by which these actions can, and often do, sabotage you. It's not about the morality, it's not even purely about the belief. It's about the devastating emotional aftermath created by the conflict between your actions and your beliefs. It's about the quiet corrosion of self-trust. Your mind, whether you realize it or not, is a meticulous scorekeeper. It keeps a running tally of the promises you make and break to yourself. Every time you say, "Okay, this is the last time," and then you do it again. Every time you wake up with regret and say, "I shouldn't have done that," you are doing something far more damaging than just feeling bad for a few hours. You are making a withdrawal from your account of self-trust. You are teaching your subconscious mind a powerful lesson. I cannot be trusted. I am not in control of my own actions. My word means nothing, even to myself. Think of your self-trust like a currency. It's the currency you use to generate confidence. And confidence, true core confidence, is the emotional elixir of manifestation. It's the deep, unshakable knowing that you can create the reality you desire. It's faith in your own power. Without confidence, manifestation is just wishful thinking. So what happens when you repeatedly do something that your own internal rulebook says you shouldn't? You feel guilt. You feel regret. These are not just fleeting feelings, they are potent, low-frequency emotions. Guilt sends a signal to the universe that you are someone who deserves to be punished. Regret chains you to the past, preventing you from creating a new future. Each time you indulge and then beat yourself up for it, you decrease your self-trust. As your self-trust plummets, so does your confidence. And as your confidence erodes, your ability to hold the frequency of your desired reality vanishes. You start to doubt yourself. You start to doubt the process. You think, how can I possibly be powerful enough to manifest $1 million when I couldn't even say no to a second drink? You see the vicious cycle. The act itself wasn't the problem. The problem was the internal judgment that followed. The problem was the loss of personal integrity, the misalignment between the person you want to be and the actions you are taking. This internal fracture, this state of being at war with yourself, is what truly destroys your vibration. It creates an energy signature of chaos, shame, and powerlessness. And the universe, in its infinite and impartial wisdom, can only match the signal you are sending. So, what is the path forward? There are two paths of power, and only you can decide which one is yours. But the one path of powerlessness is to remain stuck in the middle, in the swamp of hypocrisy and self-judgment. The first path of power is the path of conscious abstinence. This is where you look at an activity, like drinking, and you decide with clarity and conviction. This no longer serves the vision I have for myself. It clouds my mind, it drains my energy, and I am choosing to release it. On this path, you don't stop drinking because some guru told you it was bad. You stop because you have a deep, personal, and empowering reason to do so. Quitting becomes an act of self-love, not an act of restriction. Every time you say no, it's not from a place of fear, but from a place of profound respect for your future self. Each time you resist the old habit, you make a deposit into your self-trust account. Your confidence soars. You feel in control. In this context, abstaining becomes a powerful amplifier for your manifestations. The second path of power is the path of conscious integration. This is a more subtle, and for many, a more difficult path to walk. This is the path where you fundamentally rewrite the laws in your subconscious mind. You go to war with your guilt. You consciously decide, I can enjoy these things in moderation without it affecting my power or my worthiness. My connection to the universe is permanent and unbreakable, and a glass of wine with dinner doesn't change that. I am a powerful creator, and I give myself permission to be human. On this path, you partake without the emotional hangover of guilt and regret. When you have a drink, you enjoy it fully. You are present, you bless it. You feel gratitude for the pleasure. When it's over, it's over. There is no self-flagellation the next day. There is no inner judge screaming at you about your lowered vibration. You have made peace with your choices. You have achieved what I call vibrational integrity, where your beliefs and your actions are in perfect alignment. You don't break promises to yourself because you don't make unrealistic promises in the first place. Your self-trust remains intact. Your confidence remains high. You can live in the modern world without being spiritually crippled by it. The danger, where almost everyone gets stuck, is in the middle. Saying you want to quit but not quitting. Drinking while simultaneously believing you shouldn't be drinking. This hypocrisy is the spiritual quicksand that will swallow your dreams whole. It's not the drinking that's the problem. It's drinking while judging yourself for drinking. That's the energy that repels miracles. So the power comes back to you where it always was. It's time for a moment of radical honesty. Look at your habits. Your drinking, your smoking, your casual relationships. And ask yourself not what the world thinks, not what I think, but what do you think? What does your internal constitution say about these things? And more importantly, what is your relationship to them? Is it a relationship of conscious, guilt-free pleasure? Or is it a relationship defined by a loss of control, by regret, and by a constant chipping away at your own self-worth? If it's the latter, then yes, these habits are absolutely destroying your manifestations. but not for the reasons you think. They are destroying them because they are destroying your faith in yourself. They are proof to you that you are not the powerful, disciplined creator you wish to be. You have a choice. You can either change the behavior to align with your beliefs, or you can change the beliefs to align with your behavior. Both are paths of power, but to remain in conflict is to guarantee failure. Stop outsourcing the laws of your reality to others. Become your own spiritual authority. Decide what empowers you and what disempowers you. Write your own rules. And then live by them with integrity. When you do that, you will realize that your ability to create a magnificent life was never dependent on becoming a saint. It was only ever dependent on becoming whole.